I am just with Dilusha, who is one of our Academy members. Dilusha, when did you join the Academy?
Hi Steve, so I joined the Academy last summer, so it was June, July, so I've been with the Academy now for about 8 months and I consider myself an OG.
An OG, yeah, nice, I like it. And so you've just not long completed on a deal. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I went for a turnkey HMO, so part of my strategy after months of deliberating, going through the courses, speaking to the coaches, I decided to go for a HMO, and at the moment in my life I decided to go for turnkey HMO. So I found a property that I quite liked and it was an auction property and I just went for it.
Auction property, so did you buy it at the auction?
Yes, yeah, so it was like an online auction, so I've never had that sort of experience before. So you obviously have a very good module on the Academy about auction properties, so I went through that, spoke to some of the coaches, and your advice was to have your figure, your price, and stick it on the post-it note in front of you, so you don't go above it. So that's exactly what I did, and yeah, we got to that price point, and I was the last bid at that price that I was willing to go to, and it got accepted.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking?
Yes, very. I was sweating a lot.
It is one of the, I think bidding at auction is probably one of the most nerve-wracking things you can do.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know, do you?
You just don't know.
So congratulations, great job. How much did you get the property for?
220.
220, and it's already operating as an HMO, so what does it generate? Talk me through it.
It's generating £2,400 a month, so it's about £28,000 a year. My ROI is, at the worst case scenario, in terms of any maintenance, about 15%. At the best case scenario, everything goes smoothly, I'm looking at 19%, so I'm quite happy with that.
Nice, 19% ROI, you don't get that in a savings account, do you?
No, not at all, no.
And there's already a contract in place, so who's in this property?
So it's a lease, it's a care company for vulnerable adults, so they house the vulnerable adults and then take care of their needs. They're also paying the bills. I'm just there to provide safe housing and the maintenance of the property as well.
So, and how long is that contract or that lease for?
It's 5 years, so I've got another 4.5 years left.
Nice, there's 4.5 years left on it, and they pay $2,400 a month?
Yeah.
And they pay the bills as well?
Yes, they do.
So after your mortgage and possible maintenance, what's the cash flow on a monthly basis roughly?
So the cash flow will be £1,300.
£1,300 a month, so not bad. And then you're looking to go and do the same again, you just said?
Yes. So I'm a busy mum of 3. We've got young children. I work as well. My husband works. So I am keen to get more turnkey HMOs under my belt. My plan for this year, 2026, is to have 3 in total. So I've got 1, got 2 more to get. And then depending on the cash flow from those, I'm going to have to make it so I can hopefully then give up my job, and my next project after that would be to convert to HMO.
Nice.
So I want to get all the learning. The Academy is great for that. The resources are amazing. I just want to learn as much as I can with the existing HMO, get everything right, and then take all that information and do it myself next year. 2027, that's the goal.
Well, it sounds like we've got a good plan, and you touched on a few key points. A lot of people will be parents, a lot of people will be working and don't necessarily have abundant time available, but you're making this work. So how do you do that? What advice would you give to someone who is time strapped but has to do something to get that time back?
I would say start with, certainly with the Academy, I'd start with a mindset module. I think that really sets the tone, what you need to be thinking, how you need to approach things. And then after that, find the strategy, decide which strategy is best for you. So for me, I spent some time going through those modules. I attend the Q&As as much as I can, because that information that comes back from that is invaluable as well. So that's all part of the learning. So I try and give about 5 hours a week as a minimum, including the Q&As, to try and find the next thing and get my learning in. But if I could give more, then I would, and I do try to do that if I can. That's
good. But 5 hours a week, I think, is achievable for most people. It's an hour a day during the week.
And you can access the information with the Q&As, you can listen to that anytime afterwards as well. So it's not like you have to be in the room. You can still get that information afterwards.
Perfect. And so we've got a plan really to acquire some turnkey, get your time back, and then go down the route of house to HMO conversion.
Yeah, I'm really excited about doing a flip. I really would like to do that. I just don't. I know I haven't got the capacity, so I don't want to set myself up to sort of fail or really stress about that at this moment in time. But it is part of the plan. Yeah.
Good. And how are you finding the support on the academy?
Oh, amazing. I mean, honestly, I'm so pleased. I made the decision to join. Your coaches are great. I love how each coach has got their own sort of area of expertise. So depending on what my needs are, I can approach that coach and book them in. So that's how I've utilised some of the coaches. I'm coming for you next, so don't worry. Absolutely. The support from the staff and the support even from the academy members, that's just really great. I feel like I've got a new family. Like even last night, just meeting some of the academy members, and we're having chats and learning about people. It's been, it's really, this late in life, I feel like I've got a new sort of path. So yeah, it's really good.
That's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. In terms of having the confidence to move forward on the deal, what sort of due diligence did you need to do on the property? So you've bought from auction, you've bought something that's cash flowing, of course there's finance implications. What would you need to do for anyone that's listening to feel confident moving forward on a property like that?
I mean, I think it's probably about the numbers. Work the numbers for what fits for you. Not everyone's got endless supplies of money. You might put yourself at quite a lot of risk, and I think you have to weigh that up if that's something that you want to take on or not take on. From my point of view, I sort of worked backwards because I knew my income that was coming in, and so then I used the deal analyzer that's on the academy for the HMO, and I kind of just like messed about with the numbers. If I bought it at this price, what happens? If the interest rates goes to this, what happens? And then I kind of came out with a acceptable amount that I was prepared to go with in this deal. If it didn't stack, then I wouldn't have gone for it.
Nice. And so with this one, deposit and a mortgage?
Yes, deposit. I've actually got a bridge at the moment, and then the mortgage is going through hopefully in the next month. So
nice.
Had to go for a bridge because of the auction.
Of course, makes sense.
Yeah.
What's important at auction then? So to make sure you are safe bidding on something at auction. A lot of people like the idea of auction, but they're quite intimidated by it as well. What sort of checks would you do on the property to feel confident there, aside from the numbers?
So, I mean, certainly the legals, making sure that the legal pack is, good enough. There's nothing that's going to jump out after you've bid that's going to cause any issues. So certainly run everything through a solicitor. Obviously view the property, and just be, I guess, take a risk a little bit as well. If you, I was like 80% sure, but I think that 80% maybe could have held me back. But then I thought, am I going to get 90%? Am I going to get, is there ever 100% guarantee? I don't think there is. So I was okay with that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. And I guess in a way see what happens, because I checked everything else. So if it worked out, it worked out. If it didn't, I would have gone for the next.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think calculated risk, right? So you can never cover everything, but you touched on a few things. You're putting numbers in a deal analyzer, you're pretty much stress testing them if in this scenario, in that scenario. And then at some point, which is an important point, because some people will hang up at that point and not move forward on deals that could work. You've got to go, well, I've checked everything that I can, and also you've run over it with other people who have checked over, which gives the extra perspective
security
as well. And then it's just a really good point. You're probably never going to feel 100%. No. You just need to feel 80% ready and have a bit of faith.
There are things, out of your control, like that could happen afterwards, but that's, I guess, with anything in life, really. So,
and a contingency, right? So let's say these guys ultimately move in 4.5 years. Then what do we do with the property? Things like that,
my exit strategy would be when it's still an existing HMO. So I'll keep it, whether I've got a lease in or not. I'll keep it going as an existing HMO. Perfect,
sounds brilliant. And so you said just before we had this chat that you're looking at a couple of properties already?
Yeah, I've got 2 to view on Friday. So I'll see what they're like, really.
Same area?
Same area, yeah. I'll just keep focusing. I think that was my difficulty initially when starting, was where do I look? And now I've got this one, which incidentally just happened to be, it's in Peterborough, it just happened to be there. I'm like, well, I might as well just carry on focusing in that area now, because I know it. I ran the numbers from that area. I know what people are looking for, so I might as well just keep focusing there for the time.
Which coaches have you been working with?
So I worked with Andy, who's a HMO expert. I've worked with Tim. He did quite a lot with my mindset a few months back. I would say I had a bit of a dip. After about 4 months, I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere, and I felt why. So Tim was really good. We revisited the whys of why I'm doing this, and that was just amazing. That really, I've got a big poster in my office, and it's really visible, and I'm like, right, keep looking at that, keep looking at that. So that's always, that was really good. So yeah.
Nice, perfect. So Andy for the HMO side, Tim's helped out on the mindset side.
I've spoken to Helen Louise a bit as well, because the other thing I'm thinking to maybe run parallel to the HMOs is a rent-to-rent service accommodation. So I've actually got a property to look at next week on a rent-to-rent. So I was thinking I might as well keep a couple of things going.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Well, look, congratulations on everything you've done so far. What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out or thinking about whether to get the support or whether to get the academy or something to help them on their journey?
I mean, I would say think about why you want to do this. And for me, it was, I want a legacy for my children. I want to provide something to them that's a bit, I guess, physical in a way, rather than I just work and I might leave them a bit of cash at the end. I don't know. I want to give them something back. I also wanted to be in a position where I can give good homes to people. I want to be a good landlord, and I want to learn the laws and regulations around that. I don't want to, almost cheat on that. So certainly look at your whys. I would say, for me, making the decision is always hard, but once you make that decision, you just got to go for it. So, and that's what happened with me. I was like, umming and ahhing, and then one day I just went, you know what, I'm just going to do it, and I did it, and I have absolutely zero regrets about it. I would say certainly start off with the mindset training. I think that is invaluable to get your head in the right space, because then that helps, I think, propel you when there are lows as well. It is a lot of work, so be prepared for that. You have to put the effort in. The coaches aren't going to be handing you a property. You have to go and find that. So don't come into the academy thinking it's easy, but come into the academy thinking, if I put the work in, I'm going to really get something out of it. So certainly, my advice would be, well, I'm glad I went for it. So
there's some really good points. Yeah. I think, to reiterate some of them, don't have the expectation it's going to be easy. That's not what this is.
No.
It's going to be worth it.
Yes.
It's summarising.
Extremely valuable. It's been a big value to my life.
And I think there's something else that you said in there, that make a decision. I think most people teeter around don't make the decision. That's what actually holds them back. And the decision can be no. Yeah. And it can be yes. But indecision can be quite tiring, I think, for a lot of people. They sort of circle around the idea of, I want to do this, but maybe I'm a little bit scared or a bit hesitant, and that's where probably, as you say, touching on the mindset first, because unless people truly deeply believe they can do something, they're probably not going to make that step. They're probably not going to make that decision. They're probably not going to go down that path. And that's not a one-off work on your mindset and then you're done.
That's what I said.
Continual.
I had to really dip it back into my mindset, but that really then turned things around, and 2 months later I found this HMO. So I think that was really invaluable.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
That's all right. Thank you.